rest his soul. Yeah, he was
absolutely.
such a good guy.
We got time for a couple of questions, right? And right there, that guy.
The guy in red?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're gonna give him a mic.
Oh.
All right, go ahead, man.
Yeah, as fans, we all have our favorite movies, but just wondering what your favorite piece you've ever done, be it theater or film.
Ooh, well, theater, that's a whole other matter. My favorite movie that I've ever done is Night of the Creeps. I don't think it's the best movie I've ever done, but it's my favorite because we had so much fun doing it. After that stupid first night, step on that mark, I wanted to kill him. But we had a wonderful time shooting that, and that's my favorite for that. And my favorite theater thing, I don't know, I got a couple of them, I think, but I do a one-man show in Pittsburgh called The Chief. It's about Art Rooney Sr., the founder and original owner of the Pittsburgh Steelers, and then his family all, he passed it on to them eventually. Actually, he passed it on to his son Dan when Dan was 33, and Dan passed it on to his son Art the third when he was 33. That's who owns the Steelers now. But anyway, it's a one-man show. It's an hour and a half. It's all me up there telling stories as him. And he was a great old character, a real Damon Runyon kind of guy, incredible Catholic who went to Mass, and there's a church on the north side of Pittsburgh that wouldn't be surviving at all if it hadn't been for him and his family. And he used to run booze during Prohibition. He wrote numbers as a younger guy and loved gambling, made half the money he ever made at the track, betting on horses. He was good at it. And he didn't really know why, but he was. Yeah, that's one of my favorites. And another one was a play called Steward of Christendom. About the Irish in days long gone. And I did that a couple times. And it's hard to explain it, but it's a wonderful play. But I'm about to do a play that I think will become my favorite. We start rehearsal September 1 at the Pittsburgh Public Theater for Our Town. And I'm going to do the stage manager. It's a role I've always wanted to do, and finally getting a chance to do it. And I'm sure it's going to be an incredibly wonderful production. I just love the play. I think it's one of the greatest American plays ever written. Very simple, very profound. I'm really looking forward to that.
That's a great role.
Yeah,
Stage manager?
yeah. I know Henry Fonda did it, and I hear that his was the best that people I know saw. I never saw it. And Paul Newman did it, but he was too old, I think. He couldn't remember the words, and he had a lot of trouble with it. And Hal Holbrook has done it. A lot of old guys have done it. And I'm old, and I'm looking forward to it. Yeah.
What is the real challenge of doing a one-man show? Because when you're on stage with other people,
Forget the goddamn word. Yeah. Well, because you're out there, you're alone. Only we have a gimmick rigged up in the for the chief, because the whole thing takes place in his office, in the MacGuffin or whatever you want to call it. To get it going is he calls his wife on the phone, one of those old rotary phones, and tells her he'll be out of there in just a minute, but there's a few people, and he's going to talk to them for a little bit. It's 500 people, but and he asked her to bring his speech for the evening. He's reluctant to go to this thing that the Knights of Columbus are honoring him And he never liked those kind of things. The real guy, the chief, he hated those kind of evenings, but because people were paying attention to him and he didn't like that. But that's the lifeline, is the phone. Because different people call me during the play, Rocky Blyer, a couple other people, and I call her. So if I look like I'm in trouble, like wandering around shuffling papers and not talking, the phone rings and the stage manager, Freddie Knoll, is in the back, and I pick it up and say, hello, and he says, tell the story about your sport coat. Oh yeah, okay, well I'll call you right back, I'm talking to the people here. Yeah, it's like that, yeah.
Okay.
But it's, and they can move along enough, you know, to make sure, because an hour and a half is about as long as a one-man show can be, because people have to go to the bathroom and they get upset when they're there too long.
Well, congratulations on
Oh, yeah, thanks.
on the stage manager role too.
You have a question?
Yeah, one more. We have time for one more. Go ahead.
Yeah, I wanted to say first off, that Jamie Love was
Yeah.
But one of the roles that first shot was very personal. He played that. He's a very complex character. If you could talk about your appearance on MASH, because I go back to that, it was a great episode. It was a very complicated character. If you could talk a little bit about Alan Alda and what was like that experience being on MASH.
I had a wonderful time doing that. MASH ran for 11 years, and I only managed to get into one episode. And I was grateful for it. And I played a major, I believe, who was a flat-out bigot. I did not want blacks in my company. I had an artillery company, and they were almost all blacks. And I know, well, I didn't write it, so you know, but I got them kind of somehow intentionally wounded. I don't know how in the hell it worked that I ended up back at the MASH unit with half my unit, and they those wizards, Alan Alda and all those guys, suss it out real quick that there's something up with me, and they give me my comeuppance by the end of the show. But we had a wonderful time shooting it. They were really easy to work with, and had been doing it a long time. And there was one line in there, something about that I created for it, and Alan Alda, I remember in the rehearsal, said, oh great, that's great. Oh Jesus, yeah, that's great. I know it wasn't in the script, but I thought, he said, no, that's perfect for here. And it's something like, you know, there's a kid but he doesn't talk, and he's 5 years old, and his parents are scared to death because he doesn't talk. And then one day, he says something, and it's because he's eating breakfast with his family, and he picks up a thing and says, "Who the hell burnt the toast?" Good talk. Well, nobody ever burned the toast before, so I didn't have anything to complain about it. Something like that. But it was a great experience. I was a bad guy. Yeah, I played lots of bad guys.
All right, we're out of time. Give it up for Tom Atkins, everybody.
Thank you, and I'll say it again, the only reason that we're doing what we're doing is because of all you guys. Thank you. You are the best fans in all of Christendom.